Do. What is happening? Finally, these two showed up. Took forever to get them to get in here.
Oh yeah, no, we planned to delay it by a lot.
We thought we'd up every other delay we've had so far.
Okay, so tonight, who are we talking about?
The rebel leader, Mon Mothma, ahead of Andor coming out.
Or Mothra, apparently.
Mothra. All right. So if you, I don't know, if you think Mon Mothma is awesome, Star Wars awesome, you can always hit the like button. That would be fantastic. I hear that helps. And let's just jump into it. During the days of the Republic, Mon Mothma was a senator from the planet Chandrila. Mothma rose to political prominence during the Clone Wars when she, along with such allies as Senators Bail Organa and Padme Amidala, became outspoken in their desire for peace between the two sides. She also spoke out against the increase in executive powers given to the Supreme Chancellor Palpatine, who would go on to transform the Republic into the Empire at the war's end. Mothma worked with Organa and other allies to plant the seeds of rebellion against the Empire. Later, she would lead the Senate after publicly denouncing Emperor Palpatine, which was soon followed by the forming of the Rebel Alliance. Mothma sanctioned the recruitment of Jyn Erso, who was crucial in stealing the Death Star plans during the Battle of Scarif. Mon Mothma would go on to lead the Alliance throughout the Galactic Civil War and later help plan the battle that saw the death of Emperor Palpatine and left the Empire in chaos. The rebellion would go on to form the New Republic and headquarter the new Galactic Senate on Chandrila. Mon Mothma was elected as the first Chancellor of the New Republic Senate and planned to end all emergency powers and demilitarize the Republic. She hoped to cut the New Republic defense fleet by 90% and leave the defense of member worlds to those worlds themselves. Sometimes later, Mon Mothma became ill and stepped down as Chancellor. In her absence, the New Republic fell into chaos, and the Galactic Senate became divided into two factions, the Populists and the Centrists. It could be said that Mon Mothma's drive for peace and demilitarization eventually left the New Republic in a weakened state that lacked the strength to combat the rise of the First Order. Tonight, we discuss one of the greatest leaders in the rebellion, Mon Mothma. Join us. All right.
Mm-hmm.
There she is.
There she is.
Yeah, did you read that she might have caused fragmentation?
Well, that's pretty funny that you go from having this dictator, emperor, and then she manages to restore the Republic. And then once she's like, you know what, I'm feeling a little sick. Maybe I should finally step down. Everything just goes to crap.
Dictator.
Well, yeah,
right.
I mean, it is very. If you're looking at for like a political thing, and you were like, let's say you're a freedom fighter and you believe that, I don't know, somebody is like Cuba. Cuba realized as soon as they got rid of the powers that be and put a dictator in, that dictator didn't immediately get rid of all military, all guns, all everything, because you just got rid of like a military coup, and you just and there's people still going to be out there. I think what you could make an argument with her case was because she was so a believer in nonviolence. Sometimes a believer in nonviolence, you have to realize that just because you believe in nonviolence doesn't mean the rest of the universe believes in nonviolence. And you still have little remnants of the people that you just kicked out of power who were really would like to have that power back. And for you to go, okay, listen, we're going to get rid of our military. We're not going to really be a unified group anymore. All defense is up to the planets, and we're going to reduce our military by 90% months after or years after kicking out a very powerful group. Maybe not the best decision strategically.
No, and it totally leads to the other worlds like taking over their nearby neighbors.
Yeah, it's totally going to lead to things because human nature or two-headed monster nature, living sentient being nature is going to be they have something I want it, or legitimately, they're scaring me because they're very aggressive people and I want to take them out before they take me out. That's just the nature of beings, I guess. Well, as far as I can guess, I've actually never met a being from another planet, so maybe they don't have those feelings, but
you're actually just secretly a bigot. I'm sorry.
So governmentally speaking, yes, that's probably wasn't the best strategic decision to make to eliminate
you
your
get
military
like
that fast.
A continuous cycle of rise and fall of factions.
Oh yeah.
And then if you've got the presence of some force force sensitive and force wielding people that descend into evil, then eventually they're going to do the same thing the last guy did.
Totally off topic, but are you guys watch this on like a phone while we're doing this or anything?
Occasionally.
Every now and then I check.
Oh, okay, because I don't have the ability really to like. I have my phone up, but I don't know like if sound is good or anything. Like I just assume we're good and I go with it. I don't really
Oh
ever
yeah, I
check
do that too.
I didn't thought about it. It's never came up before, but I just thought about it today. I was like,
I think our 2 or 3 commenters would say if something's wrong.
Well, all right, yeah. So she started off as what? Like I guess she was like kind of like a political brat, is what I read. That her family was always in some kind of politics.
Yeah.
She entered politics like at 14 or something.
Yeah, something
Basically,
like that. She was the
around the
youngest
same age
senator.
as Padme, isn't it?
She's like they said that she was the youngest senator ever was when she became a senator. So whatever age that is.
Interesting.
That's on Wikipedia, so it has to be true.
And you know what? I did not know this. Reading about her more, she was born the same year Padme was.
Yes, so she is the same age as Padme. Okay.
Which is weird because it sure doesn't look like it.
Hey, some planets got a little nicer.
Some planets got 2 suns, and they age you dramatically when you get 2 suns like that. And then she stepped out of politics because of her beliefs, I assume, and then end up getting back into it. And almost immediately after getting back into it, the Clone Wars begun, and she was none too happy about this because she felt like there had to be a peaceful way to resolve this.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because if you look at it, like I know we talked about this before when Dad, which by the way, I do not own any of these things. Please do not attack me, Disney. But we just had that fight last week, didn't we? Or a couple weeks ago. When Daddy Lucas has 40 years to go back and reflect on it. I know he says certain things now, but the funny part when he always said the things to me is yes, but when it doesn't matter if you're a war hawk or you're a dove peaceful person. He kind of proved the point where it doesn't really make sense to be any, just like the Jedi. There's no such thing as dark side. Pretend like there's not any dark side, and it ends up corrupting your entire organization. And so for him to be like, her argument was, well, there has to be a peaceful solution, and I'm not willing to take anything that's not a peaceful solution, without realizing that entire argument was completely ridiculous because a very extremely evil force was behind it all and was going to have violence no matter what she decided. There was no peaceful thing. And the more she pushed for peace, the more it was just helping the violent person become more powerful. And so it's kind of a funny thing that's like, well, there has to be a peaceful resolve to this. Like, no, there actually was never going to be a peaceful resolution.
Had to be resistance, right?
Yeah. And some of the arguments I'm making are current politics. You hate that person because you say they're a hateful person. Doesn't make sense to me. Also, you don't want violence and you think the Empire is so terrible. I don't know how much mass murdering the Empire did compared to blowing up 2 Death Stars in the name of freedom. So like, I don't really know. So it is kind of interesting that she believed that, but she's also the one that gave out the orders to get the Death Star plans. I assume, she had a lot to do with the planning of it. So although she's extremely peaceful and all that, it is that weird. It's literary, right? Like you have to have a story that's fun and cool. But at the end of the day, for all her peace talk, she did put to death 2 different populations on the Death Star.
Right. We're just following orders.
She personally blessed every proton torpedo on each before they took off.
So it's just weird that when I hear Lucas talk about it now, he's like, "Well, clearly I was going for it." I'm like, "Yeah, your argument doesn't really hold up because what you're saying was peace was so important, or lovey-dovey was so important that you killed, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of people probably were living on the Death Star, but like that seems a little much." But all right, so almost immediately she got with it. I didn't do the video because we showed it so many times, but she got with her group of people. I said it in the beginning part. Yeah, and then they started the I guess pack of peace is what they decided to do, and they legitimately were trying to work with inside the Republic, later to be the Empire, to find a peaceful way to coexist, I guess, right?
Was that the delegation of 2000, or was it before that?
Before that was the deleted scene where it was Bail. I'm not suggesting anything.
Oh no, I'm not suggesting that. Are you crazy?
No, a separatist. I'm not a separatist. Yeah, that was that. Yeah, the delegation came after that. After there was more.
Once they declared the Empire had literally started, right?
Mm-hmm. And yeah, what's funny is going back and such. I forgot because obviously she's a bigger character. She only showed up in Return of the Jedi, and then the expanded universe, pushed her a lot. It's funny going back and like she's actually in quite a lot of the Clone Wars episodes, specifically every single political or Senate focused episode. She's there, or has at least a good role in it. One thing I forgot to check was who voiced her in the Clone Wars, because do you know the story behind why Genevieve was casted as her in episode 3?
No.
So they had the actress, the original actress for her in Return of the Jedi, and then when Lucas was casting for that character for that deleted scene and such, he just picked her because she looked similar. She looked like her, and she just picked her. Didn't even check her for any acting or anything.
That's fantastic.
And it turns out it was good because she is a good actress, and pretty funny though. It's just like she looks like her. That's
you just pulled her off the street.
I think it was a casting call, but he's just like, yeah, that works, and then.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm trying not to be negative in this situation here, but even when he had really good people to work with on the prequels, they either forgot how to act in just those 3 movies, or he wasn't directing them very well, because there's a lot of questionable acting going on in those prequels. Every time I watch them, I'm always kind of like, ooh, yikes, that's kind of a weird way to do that. Yeah, so like there's not a lot to talk about that, other than the fact that she worked really hard trying to do that. She was not okay with the powers that they gave Palpatine to become Emperor. And at some point, she finally, I guess, had enough and publicly denounced that he shouldn't be or whatever, and then publicly left the Senate.
Which is pretty crazy, like, to do that, like, because they showed in Rebels, right? And like had her speech in front of all of the Senate denouncing the Emperor and all this stuff, and just leaving, and then immediately not being like hit squatted with the Royal Guards or anything.
Right.
Yeah, I think it.
Because it would have been a worse. It'd be weird. Would it make a worse precedent if immediately after she leaves the Force, she gets like arrested or killed, or him leaving her alive, showing like what ends up being worse in the end? But
yeah, I don't know. Like, I've always wondered about that too. It's always been a confusing thing for me, because Star Wars paints Palpatine as this evil incarnate or whatever person, but then, like, at what point did he feel comfortable, or if ever? And if he didn't feel comfortable, why not? If somebody stood up in the Senate saying, to hell with you, Palpatine, you're a horrible dictator, and they left, why weren't they immediately just disappeared? Like, I don't understand why they were even allowed to exist. Like, it's a like, she should not have been allowed to exist. As soon as she did that,
leave the
and
planet,
it became
basically.
and you can't tell me he didn't know that they were plotting, because there's no way he didn't know. Like, with all the secret stuff.
The only thing I could think of was, like, again, like on top of Palpatine's like hubris, is that like he would just think, oh, she's insignificant enough. Like, there's nothing she can really do. Like, yes, the rebels are building up, but
his ego was big enough.
Yeah, I mean, if we ever do him, that we could talk about that, because he always did that. Like, I would be like, that didn't seem right, but then he did do it. Like, he did always laugh and scoff at the idea that the rebels could ever do anything, and laugh and scoff at kind of anything, as a matter of fact. So yeah, that's the case. But then it's almost as soon as she leaves, the rebel start to form and become an alliance. And honestly, at times now, Star Wars has kind of rewrote some of the story, but up until, like, we'll say Rebels, by her will, and maybe a few other ones, I don't know, I guess her charisma, I guess. She was able to have a fleet and have warriors enough to fight the Empire, which says a lot, because there's not really too many other people that are mentioned. There are people who are like a general or a good fighter, but there's no one who's actually mentioned too often that had the same political power that she did to get it done.
Yeah, especially like not someone who is someone who's the military.
Yeah, because even old Leia's daddy,
the only one.
Leia's dad is, but he was more like the the one that would secretly go meet with the Jedi and talk like that. I'm sure he had political power too, but she was always been the one that seemed like she was the one up in front of the rebels, while he was kind of walking behind her, whispering to her.
He was he was the benefactor.
Yeah, he was buying all those ships. Like, where
he was
she
the
getting
super pack for
all those
the
ships from?
So that's that. When like I said in the opening part, she was one that signed off on the Gen Urso, got the Death Stars, blew up the Death Star. That's that. And then it became the New Republic, and she almost immediately got rid of all the powers. And I think she should have stopped there, honestly. Maybe kept some of them, because you have to not reorganize a entire republic, I guess, back. But then she decided, no, I'm gonna take it farther than that, and we're going to get rid of the military and reduce everything. And then obviously, like we already talked about, when you do that, you're asking. It's like when I hear people say stuff like, well, how come like in different points in our history in the last few years, North Korea seems like they're ready to push the button, and other times they seem like they're hiding and they're not talking. Well, depending on who's in power, whether it's somebody in the EU or America, if you're giving out a sense that if you get out of line, I might just be crazy enough to push the button back, then Korea might be like, ugh. But if you're giving the sense that, like, hey, you know what? North Korea has and I'm sure they're watching this, and I'm probably going to get disappeared tomorrow too, but North Korea has a right to eat at the table with everyone else, then you embolden that person sometimes to believe, well, listen, now I might have an opportunity to, get somewhere with this. And that brings me to the First Order, very North Korea-ish, that kind of way.
How do you manage to let that slip, let that grow?
Yes. And so you have with
the same armor and same gear,
same everything, same ships, same armor. Your spy network, apparently you also let that go, because no one even knows here. If you're reading the books that I have, anytime the First Order is mentioned, is looked at as rumors, myth, and not truth. You know what I mean? Like no one believes that they are there, and if they are, they're not as powerful. And every time something happens like that, it was one of the reasons why Leia, who was the hero of everything, that she pretty much got the credit for everything after the war, and was one of the most powerful people. She ended up almost being laughed out of the Senate and having to quit, because she was like, the First Order is a problem. And everybody's like, it's not that big a deal. One thing I did find interesting is the once it came out that Leia was the daughter of
Vader,
Darth Daddy, they said it in this Wikipedia, but also the book that are like Bloodlines, whatever, it very much insinuated that Mon Mothma knew. That if she didn't 100% knew, that she had a pretty damn good feeling who Daddy was, and that she never held it against her. She never tried to temper her power, never tried to keep her out of politics. She kind of knew and was like, can't pick who her daddies are, right?
I'm sure. Well, I'm sure Bale's kind of had some let some slip,
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
Iranian ales and sent him off a little bit.
I'm about to say, you have that big of a secret, and once it becomes clear that there's no one left, Emperor's not around, Darth's not around, no one's gonna kill your daughter. You're having some beers, I'm saying, Jesus, I've been wanting to tell you this for 40 years. Let me tell you something. You ain't gonna believe this story I got for you. But yeah, that's it. And then she kind of she retires. There becomes two factions, basically, the populace and the
if I remember correctly, I don't think both Legends and canon mention a death for her. Or at least nothing.
No, I couldn't find one death either. I just think they just don't end the story.
She retired.
She retires, yeah.
And yeah, that was about for both of them. For Legends, she retired, and then for canon, obviously, got sick and retired.
Did she ever marry?
I didn't see it reading.
I didn't see that either. Yeah, it was basically
she didn't go off with a Mon Calamari or something.
Well,
the true Mon.
Well, I'm sure we're gonna find out. I'm sure we're gonna find out something pretty awesome on the next TV show about why she never married or anything, because Disney's gonna find a way to tell that story, because we can't just have people having
gonna be great.
political and then retiring.
Secretly, she was looking for the bail Organa.
Yeah. I kind of wish, looking back on it, you're writing a book, you're telling a story, but it kind of would have been nice if back in the day people had left everyone's stories that kind of open-ended. I know we can just ignore them now because most of them are not truth, but like some of people's endings have been pretty outlandish and pretty over the top, ridiculous. And like I said, now we can ignore legends, but it is kind of nice to have somebody who was that important that we kind of just like, she retired. You don't know what happened. She could have been like a super.
She managed to put the perfect ending. Retired.
Yeah, she might have been a super spy afterwards. We have no idea, but she just retired, and it's nice that she didn't like, lose her head and get redone as a robot or something like some other people have done. She just retired. Nice, respectful, nice, retired. That's fantastic. Love it. Love to see it.
Off topic was the new Lego Star Wars game. I'm playing through it, and Dengar. There's different sections. So the bounty hunter section, I see Dengar. I go the extra section, I see that Wrathgar Den, the messed up looking version.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. Do you have anything else you want to mention about her? There's not a lot.
No, you rarely.
We're hoping to get more.
A lot of her stuff, especially when we look at the comics, is just kind of her there around a table and just quickly discussing some battle tactics, and that's about it. Yeah. It's gonna be, I mean, it's not much else. I'm curious to see what's gonna happen with her in Andor. How much is that gonna affect? Holy crap! How much that's gonna affect her? Her character, and yeah,
interesting.
Just highlight every single.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Oh, why didn't it pop up? There you go.
Look out.
God, but yeah, I guess we can move on to the slides probably.
Well, okay. No, one thing. So one thing I did read was she was a fighter pilot. And apparently she, but she wasn't, I guess, good enough.
She's like, you know what? Let me give it to the others.
I don't know if it happened while
I'm over here saying, I like how they wrote this lady in a respectful way, and they retired. And he was like, yeah, let me tell you one thing. Apparently she taught herself as somewhat of a fire pilot, but she sucked at it. So I just want to throw that in there at the end. Well done, Kachung. Well done.
Hey, that's what it kind of said. And she apparently hurt her left arm. I couldn't find where that happened. Or
probably
how.
from gesturing too much in the Senate, just waving her arms around, straining the shoulder.
Maybe she was like standing there, very stiff behind the screens, just listening to everybody and kind of nodding, and she never just like worked the arm out, like she never just kind of stretched a little bit, and by leaving it there, it kind of froze like that because
she never approached Anakin for a bionic one.
All right, so let's figure this out. Where are we going here?
It should be at the top.
Bounty hunters. Oh, good Lord, I have to do this again.
Jesus Christ.
What? What?
The comments.
Oh. All right, so let's see here. Let's go. I see thumbnail. I don't see the thing though. Where's the?
It should be at the top.
Oh, slides. I see it now.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Share. Share screen. Okay, there we go.
Spam tonight. Couldn't go harass some other channel?
Yeah, basically.
Why isn't it? Why isn't it going? Ah, there we go.
All right.
All right, starting slideshow.
Alrighty then. So yeah, hit you with the appearances quickly on TV. So movie, obviously, Return of the Jedi, first time. Then deleted scenes were Episode 3, and then Rogue One, new actress, and then she showed up basically in most of the political stories that were in the Clone Wars, in season 2, 3, 4, 5, and a little bit of 6. Most of these are the biggest ones were the Senate murders going on in the second season, and the third season there was the assassin arc that we talked about with Aura Singh. And then Rebels, yeah, it's funny because I forgot that Rebels, I thought she showed up way sooner. I didn't realize it was season 3 she showed up in. And then basically just into season 4.
Oh no, because you got to realize the whole season 1 was like
Super
finding
early.
Ezra,
Yeah.
and then season 2 was like discovering that there even was rebels, and so yeah, no, that sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. So here are the Legends comics she appears in. So there's a bunch
of 3 seasons to Rebel,
basically. So right here we have first appearance is issue 3 of Return of the Jedi, followed by she's in a multiple Star Wars issues from the original run. Again, mostly as a I'm at a table basically in the background. I make one line and that's it. But her first cover appearance is on issue 90, which is actually a pretty good cover. And then the Thrawn trilogy, she appears in basically issue 1 of each of the adaptations, plus issue 3 for the last one, Last Command. Again, similar stuff. And then in the Dark Empire saga, she appears mostly in the first one, and then in the second and the Empire's End, she appears only in issue 1. Which, then followed by the Empire series, she appears mostly in like the flashback and holograms. After that, here's a fun one: Republic 61 and 63. It's where we see her as a young senator alongside Bail. We actually talked about him already. That was Bail's first cover appearance. And then Revenge of the Sith number 2. Yeah, there. And Revenge of the Sith number 2 is the adaptation where it has the deleted scene of her in it. And then in the 2013 run of Star Wars, that was the last time we see her in Legends. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so there's the first appearance. Her with
standing
black
right.
hair.
Standing right where you think she's going to be.
Talking about the Bothans. These are 2 of the other Star Wars issues. The spears, obviously, the left one we've talked about. You can see our over-the-shoulder originals.
Yep.
In the corner, IG and Boss.
I haven't read this. This kind of make me wondering what this is now.
Darth Vader 2.
Yeah. She Vader.
So that's the first cover appearance.
Oh,
yeah.
Very concerned look on her face.
Yeah. That's actually if I remember correctly, that was a pretty famous or popular cover.
Is she kind of bipolar there? She doesn't know if she's a senator or
I just want to talk about my man here wearing that purple and yellow. Look at him, yellow shoes. Like the hate's
He
pulling
went
it
to
off.
he went on a shopping spree day with Lando.
Hey, listen, we ain't had that back talking now.
And then the other 2 issues of Star Wars. So again, a lot of these issues here, I just was going through the covers so you can see them. Again, she mostly shows up in a panel or 2 or a page, and it's her around a table. So
yeah.
Speaking of, nobody say a word. Laughing is part of saying a word. Okay, let's continue.
So yeah, that's the last issue of Star Wars in the original Marvel run. That's her in the bottom left there with the hair. It's kind of
this is her right here.
That's her right
with
there.
the like
Hoochie
mama dress or whatever's going on here. That's what you're telling me?
Yeah, apparently at least.
She's like a
Greek Marvel comic artist. We have some questions.
That last issue is very strange.
Look at that. You see that?
I have this
behind me right there.
Wow.
I even have them set up the same way.
That's hilarious.
Nobody likes a bragger. Anyway, continue.
My shop had that comic for $150 today.
Oh.
Which one?
Heir to the Empire 1.
Oh, wow.
I got my copy for free because Barbarian didn't know what it was before he sent it to me.
Huh.
Jeez. But yeah, so Heir to Empire 1 and Dark Force Rising 1 is the first issue of both adaptations. Yep.
Awesome.
Great books.
This is probably the most significant thing I saw
There
her
you
in
go.
a while. So it's not her around a table 100% of the time. It's her talking to Leia about her pregnancy with and basically Leia's going to be going into labor very shortly. What's going on? So yeah, then Last Command, issue 3, and then Dark Empire number 2. Again, more issues where she shows up in, basically around a table.
If she's not talking to a hologram, she is a hologram.
And then it's good. This is a crazy cover. This issue 3 on the left.
What is he, like a zombie ghost? What is that?
Well, it looks like he's astral projecting it. And then, yeah, Dark Empire 2 and Empire's End. That's the end of the Dark Empire saga. Not much else to say there. She doesn't even attend Leia's. So in Empire's End, she gives birth to their last kid, Ben Solo, and she doesn't even show up to it, but everyone else does.
Wow.
Wow,
She
what
didn't
a
send a
jerk.
diaper cake.
No. Holy crap!
I have that.
Yeah, that was Bale's first cover appearance, but she shows up there as a young senator. Pretty interesting too, seeing that for once.
Neat.
Holy.
Ooh, nice cover.
And yeah, and then this is her here showing up in the as the deleted scene one. Again, the art's always fun. So this is a fun one actually. This is the last issue she shows up in the Legends continuity.
Look, a little spry there.
Oh yeah. Basically, they're in a building that got bombed or attacked as well by Empire. And there's a quote there. She says like Leia's like, "Are you all right, Mon?" And she's like, "I've been doing this well before you ever even come into the picture. Like I've been in my mind fights. Like, don't worry about me." And near the end of it, she has she makes a call to have them shoot a ton of ion cannons off at Star Destroyers. So pretty good way for her character to end off in Legends.
Yeah.
And then here, yeah, then this is the canon run of her. Again, I will say, more tables.
Nice.
Basically, her first appearance is issue 4 of the 2015 run of Star Wars. Followed by a bunch of other appearances in the main series, and her first canon cover coming from the Rogue One issue 1 adaptation. Followed by a bunch of random other issues she comes into, like the Storms of Crate, the Vader's Castle, different miniseries. And currently, she showed up. The most recent in was issue 26 of the new Star Wars run. It got cut off in the picture there, but yeah. And then on the right, there is one variant with her, which we'll see. Yeah, no worries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's her first appearance back in canon, issue 4.
That's the first time Santa.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good. That's a good book to get through.
What's funny was, I was looking that up, and I was like, why is this book actually expensive? Like, oh yeah, it's Santa's first appearance. That's why. And yeah, this one here, this is another one we keep talking about a lot. Yeah, so that's her first to cover appearance there, proud and center. Again, around a table. This one was interesting. This one shot, basically, it's Leia and Mothma coming to decide the
movie variant.
Have we showed this book a lot?
No, we never have.
No.
Okay, then I randomly have this book because I totally recognize that cover.
Yeah,
I don't know where it
this
came
is
from.
Peter Mayhew are on the inside again, and yeah, it's him. It's Leia and Mothma basically deciding to set up a backup base on Crate, and what obviously.
Okay, I just want to point out the artist here clearly watched Star Wars, clearly had a fan, because even here, in here, is like almost movie photorealistic, and then you have this
Oh
that's
yeah,
slightly off a bit. This
the whole
guy,
thing.
yes, it's like this is a little bit off. Not bad, obviously, but not like that. Not when it's like photorealistic right there.
It just comes to
That's
be when
crazy.
you only have like 10 frames of footage you want to base it off of. But yeah, Mayhew's art in there is great. And this was the variant I was talking about, the Mile High one, where she appears on the cover too. They did this set of variants. They had those couple issues. They had all the different rebel leaders there. So I think that one actually looks probably one of the best ones.
Ah, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. After that, because again, all those comics, they're mostly behind a table, and
Yeah. Now, would you call that like? Is that the bridge? Is that the war room?
the war
Or
room,
the-
I'd say.
Yeah, I would say it's a
Policy.
war room because even if she's on a bridge of a ship or in a base somewhere, it's still in the same thing. So I think that's probably like a war room.
Mm-hmm. And then, here basically is her toys. So the left one is her first
What is
figure.
this? Can I ask what this is?
That's when she needs to reach across the table and poke at us.
Oh, it is. Look, it actually is. Look, it's a baton. It's just smacking people. I didn't know she was an aggressive person. But it's from her. It's from her fighter pilot days.
Well, I was
She
gonna
still got
say
that aggression in
when the calamari start like leaking all over the table, she's beaten.
Yeah, listen, y'all straighten your asses up, or I'll pull out the stick again.
And on the right is the
Oh my god!
you zoom so fast. And on the right is the oh my god.
You want to go back to this one? Okay.
I think on the right, yeah, that's her Revenge of the Sith figure. She only has 2. She doesn't have a Black Series at all.
Usually I'd be like, I don't have this. Why don't I have this? But I don't think I've ever looked for, asked for, or needed a Mon Mothma. I mean, if one comes my way, so be it. But I don't think I've been like, man, I got to get that one. Honestly,
She should come with a table, surely.
definitely should.
That'll be the Black Series one, like how Jar Jar has the whole setup with the whole.
Speaking of which, I think this is her table situation. Right
Basically,
here,
yeah, here you go. So this is her first Lego appearance. This is actually funny because it was a fans' choice contest where it was like anniversary. So they had a list of like what set would you want, and it was the home one basically. And yeah, that was the first Lego figure of her.
Does it come with Akbar?
How about that?
Yeah, it does. Comes the whole Rebel gang up there. I think a Bothan maybe too if we look back, but yeah.
All right, so I guess we're done with Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
I feel bad because I feel like we spent more time talking about people who are not as important. She was extremely important. It's just that when you're nothing, I don't want to say nothing. That sounds
when
negative
it's
again.
Political, it's very tough too because her actions are all just based on.
Yeah, it's completely a political person.
Like she basically did a lot of the background. Like she set the whole thing up, but it's just she wasn't. She gave the order. She like said you can go do this. She wasn't directly involved in a lot of the on the ground stuff. So it's not as action packed.
Yeah, and I think that obviously more books are probably written by generals who won wars than the politician who got the money or whatever together to get the war. But I think she's also a character that can obviously be expanded upon in future films and movies,
as we'll see, basically. But
that's pretty cool.
So they have. So
Gentle Giant's not even that expensive. Okay, this is
actually.
possible.
So you're gonna be happy to see this. This was Yes, this is one of those PVC diorama ones where they're like, I think in Canadian they're like $70. So I think this one's extremely affordable.
That's like $10 American right there.
Just don't fill your gas tank for the day and you'll be fine.
I will say this: I'm obviously playing. Nice subtle plug there on MrGarrell Gaming. I'm playing Knights of the Old Republic. I don't remember her suit, at least the one I have her in, being that completely form-fitting. But I'm not here mad. I'm not mad at it. I'm just gonna say that I'm not completely mad at it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it's a really good one. I'm curious if they're gonna release any other Old Republic ones. I would love an HK-47. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
This is actually news from today. This is the only real today news I have. They finished wrapping up filming of season 1 and 2. Wait, Yeah, sorry. The title really messed me up for 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Season 1 has filmed up. Has finished wrapping. I don't know why it says season 2 Hope Sparked is film. Anyways, basically season 1 is wrapped up filming, so now they're going to be in post production. So I think I remember when we talked about a bunch of release dates. This was supposed to be coming out next year. So
yeah,
mhm.
I think spring, but don't quote me on that.
I will say, this is kind of an example of if you go by canon, her I forgot what they're called now. Her sexy headpiece here should be almost to the ground, but they're not, and it makes sense, and I'm not mad at it. So, like, I'm hoping that's gonna be a good show. She's a good actress, so I'm hoping it's gonna be a good one.
Mm-hmm. I am
not 100%.
Going to be
not 100% confident in Disney's ways, but I'm hoping.
Yeah, this is a fun one. So basically, there's 2 books are being released based on the Star Wars Jedi series. They're calling it the Jedi series now because the next one's called Outcast. No, wait, what it's called? Survivor. So there's only 1 art book that's coming out in May, and then in March there's going to be a book that's bridging the gap between the first game, Fallen Order, and the second game. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty exciting. I really like the first game and the character, so I'm curious what it's gonna come up.
What was the name of the game?
Fallen Order.
Okay, because you never mentioned it.
I said the Survivor was the sequel name, but Fallen Order.
Jedi Fallen Order, which I'll actually start playing pretty soon on my channel too. I'm actually.
So yeah, here's a fun one as well. This is a behind-the-scenes making of documentary for Kenobi, which comes out tomorrow, actually.
I feel like you just did that to get a reaction, like a jump scare on my Twitch channel. I feel like you just did that to get a reaction.
Wait till you see the next thing I have there.
I heard about it, but I didn't. I went looking for it, but didn't realize it came out tomorrow.
Yeah, I didn't realize. It's pretty funny. The timing of it comes out tomorrow. So this year, this is the Disney Expo. This is a limited to 3,000 copies. It is the Obi-Wan lightsaber collection. So it's his lightsabers from 1 to 3. Yeah, that's a 400 US, I believe. Which,
listen.
The Disney Expo, they're showing all this merch and everything. That was the only good thing. Everything else was like socks.
$4 a lot of money, brother. I don't know about that.
So
if you hear snorting, it's not me.
Oh, it's you. We know it's you.
It's the dog.
It's the dog next to me. Yeah.
All right. So what do we got here? We got Empire Legends.
So yeah, some new comic book stuff. On the left is Volume 7 of the Empire Legends Epic Collection. So it's covering a bunch of random issues with what looks like what's his name? What's Machete? Machete on the right there.
Oh, Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo.
I will say that I was gonna say before you said that his body isn't long enough. His legs, you see what I'm saying? Like his legs go all the way up here, and then it's like a short body, and then he's got a big old head. Like, woo! That's an interesting drawing there.
And then on the right is the second print for issue 1 of The Mandalorian. Actually, funny, that's a pretty good cover, even if it's just a close up.
Yeah, they went to second print, obviously.
Mm-hmm. And then issue 27 of Star Wars came out. I was actually just reading it before the show. And then
cool.
Yeah, that there's the shuttle that the Rebellion uses on Andor. It goes into how they got it, basically. It's pretty interesting. It's actually so far good. And then that is the variant covers for issue 27. On the left is the action figure of our boy.
No, 2 of them. Oh.
It's not. It's getting a hand.
And that's on the Leia as a Padawan.
Yeah, the Choose Your Destiny version is Leia as the Padawan.
Okay.
Yeah.
That helmet is ridiculously stupid, but other than that,
it is massive.
It's so stupid looking. But okay, it is what it is.
But yeah, and that's everything.
Why? What is this over here? Explain yourself.
What is that? Planet of the Apes?
The Botmans, dude.
Get out of here with this nonsense.
Oh. Nice.
How do I stop? There we go. Well, all right. I think that's it. You have anything else?
I mean, Andor. When does Andor come out? September
18th or 16th or something around the 10th. Maybe it's not. It's soon.
If I'm not mistaken. Let's see.
Gentlemen, we are a Star Wars show that is supposed to be enlightening people about Star Wars. And again, so when does Andor come out?
September 21st.
Fantastic. You didn't have to look that up.
Three episodes come out at once. So
Right.
at least in 2 weeks, Andor will come out on the Wednesday. And then I guess we're doing we're only gonna cover like when the show gets to the halfway point, right? Okay, it's 12 episodes, eh?
Yeah, something. We'll figure it out.
12 in the first season?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure out how fast I want to be targeted by the mouse again.
Well, you know when Bad Batch comes out, that's gonna be the
my opinion. Oh, I'm not even sure.
At least at least that's double what regular seasons are now. It's almost like a standard.
No, sir. No, that is the I'm going to go back and be positive because I cannot be disappointed talk right there. It could be holy crap. There are 12 of these we have to watch. You are trying to be way too positive in that situation.
Well, I'm gonna say at least it's better than us watching. It's gonna be 23 episodes of Bad Batch, so I hope you're ready.
Woo.
Anyways, all right. Well, thanks for hanging out, guys.
Mega.
And I don't even know what we're doing for next week. What are we doing for next week?
Saw Gerrera, and then that'll be the.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
That's gonna be a fun one
because he's in it.
All right.
Too.
We went from political leader, idealist piece to terrorist.
100% terrorist. Yeah. There's gonna be no way to sugarcoat this situation. I'm gonna tell you right now. He is 100% a terrorist.
Well, the rebels are like, what side he fights for. The rebels are like, this guy's too much for us.
Tune in next week if you want to hear the argument, because there's no way I don't want to hear it. He's a terrorist. I don't care what side he fought for. That was an outrageous person. Anyways, catch you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out.